Oh, hello. Welcome to Between Two Cougars. I am your host, the Economic Ninja, and today we're going to speak about how the Federal Reserve is in trouble. Today's show will be touching on a little bit of politics, a little bit of economics, and sometimes a cougar. If you appreciate this type of content, do be kind, rewind, and then hit the subscribe button. Today's story comes out of Business Insider, and it is entitled "The Fed Has Been Shaken from Its Path by Softening Labor Market." I guess old Jerome is having a problem with things going soft these days, and he says it will deliver steeper rate cuts. As a result, this comes from JP Morgan, a bank that seems to know what is going on. Now, before we start, I need to describe something, a little thing that most people do not understand. You see, the Federal Reserve likes to bluff. Just like when they said, we're going to get on top of that stubborn inflation. Not stubborn, I'm sorry, transitory. Jerome Powell has been consistently wrong, when he said, inflation's not going to be here for long. It's going to be transitory. It's going to be a little over here and a little over there. It's just going to accumulate like little pebbles, like rabbit poop. I've never understood rabbit poop. But my point being is that he kept saying that it wasn't going to be here for long and it was nothing to worry about. Well, he was wrong. And he said, we're going to get on top of it 4 months in the future. Well, what he's done now is he has generally done the exact same thing. He says things like, we're going to lower rate. No, we didn't actually say it. We're still data dependent, and we may lower rates, we may not, but it looks like times have changed, and the markets just applauded it, and they got all excited and all in a huffy. And that is what he does. He gets markets excited. It's the only thing he can probably excite. So the story goes on to say the Federal Reserve is being forced to shift from its gradualist stance on rate cuts by the weakening of the U.S. labor market. Labor demand has softened, unemployment has risen, and supply has increased along gains in productivity. That makes for an odd combination of rising concerns about the U.S. slide into recession. Do you think we're going into a recession? No? The cougar doesn't think so. As a result of that rising uncertainty, the Fed seems to be changing course, shifting from a gradualist attitude towards a fear of cutting interest rates too late, the bank said. At the Fed's Jackson Hole conference last week, Chair Jerome Powell gave a clear indication that the Fed plans to cut rates next month. This is what he said. This is how clear it is. The time has come for policy to adjust. He said, the direction of travel is clear, and the timing of the pace of rate cuts will depend on incoming data, the evolving outlook, and the balance of risks. Well, I got to be honest with you. If you think that's clear, I'd say it's as clear as mud. Type 1 if you agree. That confidence breaks from typically reserved commentary from the Fed and from Powell, who previously reiterated the need for more data on inflation and unemployment before any decision on rate cuts could be made. You see, sometimes it's as easy as just asking a cougar which way the economy is going to go. The heck? That is not a cougar. Who did this? I need a production assistant. There's nobody out here. Ah, crap, I'm a one-man show. That's not a cougar. That's a cougar. That is a lady that has been working for the Federal Reserve since she was like 18. I don't remember. It's like 23. Oh, that's right. And then she became Treasury Secretary. That's what they do. All the heads of the Fed get woven into the government. It's like an incestuous relationship. I ordered 2 of these, not 1 and 1. Now it says here, now I'm pissed. Powell's speech confirms a shift in risk bias and has taken place, and that the Fed does not want to see labor conditions ease further. Why? Because we're on the precipice of a crash. You see, the Federal Reserve knows that when unemployment hits a certain point, it just ticks really high, really fast. It's like the last move, the 1/3 move of a parabolic rise or a steep crash in the markets. It's because it's human behavior, and it's really easy to figure out. Check this out. Last week's communication from the FOMC meeting and Chair Powell's Jackson Hole speech confirmed that the Fed has been shaken and will deliver roughly a 100 basis point step down in rates by the end of this year. Look, the fact of the matter is, they're not even going to be able to get that far that fast, because once they start lowering rates, they only are going to lower them for a little bit. I've been warning people on this channel for a long time that this was coming. And this is just for political move, because the second, and you saw it the other day when that decision came out, when all of a sudden they come out and go, hey, we're going to lower rates like maybe someday in the future, and the markets cheer and everybody goes and buys Bitcoin, gold goes up, silver goes up, the stock market goes up. It's because of speculation. And what that's going to do over a handful of months, the data is going to come out and say inflation just got worse. Look, the fact of the matter is food's still expensive, electricity is still expensive, and you can't change that without stopping the consumer from spending money. You've got to severely slow or stop straight up during a crisis like Paul Volcker did, credit markets, debt markets, and that slows everything down and gets things back into shape. But until that happens, and I don't think Jerome Powell's got the cojones to do it, we're going to see higher inflation. I hope you're getting ready for this. I guess we're going to have to try this again, because I can't even hire two good cougars. With that being said, the economic ninja, wait a minute. No, screw it. I'm out.